Life and Living is made up of real-life stories from very real people, whose identities and circumstances have been concealed. These testimonies were shared in order to inspire others to seek prompt solutions to their fertility issues.
Choose wellness. Choose health and vitality. Know your numbers.
This is a corporate social responsibility message from Pathcare, Nigeria's foremost pathology laboratory.
Life and Living series presents Messengers from Home.
Hey, Barrister, you are very welcome to this compound.
Thank you very much, sir.
I hope you are happy with the flat.
Well, very much so. I believe I will have a happy stay here.
Yes, you will. You will, You see, I am a peaceful man and I don't like noise. That is why I am very careful when I am bringing tenants into my compound.
Well, I am also a peaceful man. I don't like noise myself, sir. Here's my business card.
That is good. That is good. Gee, you are a lawyer, eh?
Yes, sir. I am a lawyer. I am also a marriage counselor. Ooh. I offer advice on how couple can stay happy in marriage.
That is very good. That is very good. Yes, You see, it is responsible people like you that should be coming to this compound.
Actually, there is something I wanted to discuss with you. I won't be able to complete the amount for the rent until the end of the month.
Don't worry, don't worry. I will allow you, But you must do something for me too.
What is that, sir?
I will be coming to meet you for advice every now and then.
Mr. Iweka, what kind of advice?
In case there is something worrying me at home now, Are you not a marriage counselor?
Oh, you mean marriage advice? No problem.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, though.
Oh, good afternoon, ma.
Barrister. And this is my first wife, isn't it? This is Barrister Yakubu, our new tenant.
Oh, Kedu. Welcome.
Thank you, ma. Thank you.
Nai, I am going to the market.
Okay. What of my food?
Yeah. Okay. Chioma is preparing it.
Okay. You can go, Take care.
Pardon me asking, sir. How many wives do you have?
I have 2. It's not easy, trying to control 2 women.
Well, I imagine it will be even harder controlling the number of children.
No children yet, Barrister. I know what you are thinking in your mind.
Well,
you are saying 2 wives and yet no children. Don't worry. We will be talking about that as we are knowing ourselves better.
Okay.
But let me allow you to settle down first.
All right, sir. Thank you, sir.
You are welcome, Barrister. You are very welcome.
Good evening, Mercy.
Barrister Yakubu. You came to greet us this evening?
Yes, I've been meaning to drop by, but things have been so hectic at work.
It's all right. You see, as a lawyer and a marriage counselor, I know that you must be a very busy man.
Hey, you are lying. I brought the balance of the rent.
Chineke. I wish all my tenants are like you, I don't have to remind you to bring your rent money. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir. You're welcome.
This money is coming at the right time. You see, I am trying to gather all my money together.
Oh, embarking on a new project?
No. You see, I want to marry a new wife.
What? But why?
I want to pursue these women that I have kept in my house. They have a bad spirit.
But does this have anything to do with the fact that you have no children?
Look, this is my 8th year of marriage to 2 women. Hey. Nothing to show for it, Kwa. This is not ordinary. Something is wrong somewhere.
Wallahi, look, have you stopped to consider that since you have not been able to impregnate 2 women, maybe the problem might lie with you?
Is it not them that have been giving me the problem? They have been sent by my uncle in the village. He is my mother's younger brother. You see, he doesn't like to see me progressing, and people have heard him swear that he will destroy my lineage.
Hey,
imagine.
Okay, so how were your wives sent by your uncle?
I know this is my uncle's doing. He has tied my thing in the village and he's using my wives as his messengers.
I see.
I know.
How do you know they are his messengers?
My wives are from my mother's village. You see, their families are friends with this my maternal uncle. Do I need to say anything again?
Mazi, could you be a bit more specific?
Okay. You see, when I am doing the action with my wives, and when I fire,
yes,
the thing that comes out is very small. Sometimes nothing safe.
Mr. Iweka, have you gone to the clinic to do any tests?
Barrister, I know what is wrong with me.
Okay, will you mind getting some medical help?
Okay. And because of you, I will think about it, huh? Wishes! I love you! Today, you people are leaving my house! You are leaving my house today! What rubbish! Okay.
Mazi, because please, we have done nothing. No, because have mercy. Have mercy.
Mesonuria, who is your husband? Who is your husband? Look, you better go back to that person that sent you to me and tell him that you did not succeed. You hear me?
Mazi, don't do this.
What is going on here? Mazi, why are you throwing out your wife's things?
Enough is enough, Barrister. These witches are leaving my house today.
We are not witches.
Shut up that you're wishing mouth.
Mazi, please, come. Let us talk.
Barrister, this one is not a talking matter.
Please, let me just see you for a minute. Please.
Get away from there.
Mazi, I thought we had talked about this. Throwing your wives out so that you can marry a new one is not the answer to your problem.
It is, yo. Hey, you see, I have seen one sweet, innocent girl from my hometown.
Hey.
I have investigated her, and I know that she doesn't know my uncle. So I am safe with this one.
So because you have found a new woman, you want to clear out the old ones? Mazi, please consider God.
Look, Barrister, if it is only because I have seen a new wife, I will still allow these ones to stay. I am Mazi Iweka. I can marry 7 wives at the same time if I like. It is because I don't want them to corrupt my new wife. That is why I have to remove them before I bring her here.
Look, Mazi, I know a highly reputable fertility clinic where they can help you professionally.
I see. And you say they can solve my problem.
A trial will convince you.
And they will go to any length. Okay.
Mr. Iweka, you're welcome.
Thank you, my doctor. Thank you. Hey, this your hospital is very, very nice. See all these fine nurses. If those I know, I would have been coming here since.
Mr. Iweka, I'll take that as a compliment.
Thank me very much. Barrister Yakubu referred me to this place. So far, I have not been disappointed.
Thank God. We will need to run some tests to ascertain what the problem is.
Doctor, leave test out of the matter. You see, I have been married for 8 years and I have done many tests. They say I have low sperm count. I know what the tests are saying, doctor.
And what you need now is...
No. You see, this is what I need from you. The cause of my problem is my uncle in the village. I need you to follow me to my village so that we can untie the thing he has tied in his backyard.
Mr. Iweka, you said you have been told we can help you.
Yes.
We will treat you medically here. But first we need to carry out some tests.
Doctor, I don't need any test. The only test is for you and I to take the next available night bus to my village and not far from Abakiliki to untie the juju my uncle has put on me. And I will pay you in euro, dollars, pounds or naira. You just tell me which one you want.
Mr. Iweka, the answer is medical and not in the village. Let us help you.
Here. Mazi,
Don't let me start to... You just get inside the room and pack your load. We are going to the village to obey.
We are not going anywhere.
All right. Wait for me. Let me go and get my machete. Wait for me. You think you people have power?
What is going on here? Mazi, why are you throwing out your wife's things? What is going on here, Mazi? Are you throwing out your wives again?
Barrister Yakubu, I am going to the village this night.
Mayfair, what happened?
Your doctor refused to provide the assistance you promised. And so now I have to take my whole family to do the ritual.
Hey, Mercy.
Look, stand there.
Mercy,
stand there.
After everything we discussed, you still believe that your uncle is behind this?
Yeah, Barrister Yakubu. You are lucky I respect you. Otherwise, I would have asked you to leave my house now. Oh yeah, Choma, are you people ready? Let us go. Today we must get rid of this matter.
Mercy, take it easy. Calm down. Calm down.
Don't tell me to calm down. Don't tell me to calm down.
Look, this is not the way to take.
Look, let us go.
Look, Mercy.
Welcome to the Life and Living series. With us today we have leading fertility expert Dr. Richard Ajayi of the Bridge Clinic. Dr. Ajayi, Mazi had a lot of issues in this program. Now, is it a cultural issue, or why was he so focused on the spiritual aspect of his problem?
Thank you very much for inviting me to the show, Dr. Pamela. Mazi's situation is not unusual, and his paradigms are consistent with what we see in a lot of patients in this environment. Even though he came to a fertility clinic where God had provided him with a solution to his problem, he rejected this solution in preference to what he believed was his problem. It's a situation we spend a lot of time discussing in the clinic because we know that a lot of our patients come from this same paradigm where they believe that their problems are spiritual and caused by their uncles or aunties. And so even though they present for IVF treatment, we believe that every pregnancy is a gift from God. God makes life, we don't make life. And somehow this kind of covenants that they've entered into may disrupt the opportunity to achieve a pregnancy. So this is something that we spend some time while we counsel the patients. The counselors go into these discussions, because unless you leave all of that alone and you move close to God, it's very difficult for you to receive the blessing of a pregnancy from IVF treatment.
That's very interesting. He also seemed to have a real problem in actually even acknowledging he had a problem. He had a first wife, then he had a second wife, but he didn't even seem to think it was real. Is it a male ego issue?
Well, I think there are two things. One is ego, the second is ignorance, because as far as he's concerned, he can get an erection, he can have sex, he can ejaculate, so he can't have a problem, which takes us to the cause of male infertility, because the diagnosis is a microscopic diagnosis when you examine his semen. Now, he doesn't have the luxury of that assessment, so he believes there's nothing wrong with him. So that's the ignorance side of it. The second side is that we know, because from what he told us in the script, that he actually had accepted that he had a diagnosis of a low sperm count, but that did not stop him getting a second wife.
And even looking for a third.
And even looking for a third, because it's a difficult thing for most men to deal with. I mean, men are particularly attached to their sexuality, and if you like, the very essence of who they are, their masculinity, is defined by their perception of their virility. So if there's any dent in that perception, it takes a big man to deal with it. Most men try and sort of play the ostrich.
It's almost like an attack on him.
Well, personally, I mean, when he sits with his friends, he will feel somehow less than perhaps they feel they are. So it's a situation that I think men understand. It's very difficult for women to understand this, I think.
Now, he had some very interesting symptoms. He talked about watery sperm. What is that?
Well, watery sperm is an interesting concept. It's something that we hear a lot of. That, after we've had intercourse, women usually complain of it and say the sperm comes out. But then sperm goes through a process called liquefaction, where the thick semen that comes out becomes runny and becomes like water. It's a normal phenomenon. It's nothing to worry about. Absolutely normal.
Okay, so really, in men who don't have a problem, they don't really consider it. But if you do have a problem, you start noticing things.
You start noticing everything, yes.
Okay. Now, he said he had low sperm count. So why did the doctor, in this case, still want to do more tests?
Well, especially, he brought the results from somewhere else. And one of the problems we have in Nigeria, of course, is the quality of our laboratories. We don't have a regulatory framework that defines the quality of output from our laboratories. So we get labs that get a light microscope and they look down the microscope and write anything on a piece of paper. To get a proper sperm test, you need to go to a laboratory that has a phase contrast microscope and has the expertise and usually has the internal and external quality assurance systems to be sure that the semen result that you've been given is consistent with your own particular situation. That's one side of it. The other side of it is that the sperm count also varies with time. So the fact that you have a report that says you have a low sperm count doesn't mean that that will always be the case. So sometimes you need to run more than one test. And also it's important, you may need to do other tests to define what the cause of the problem is. Because he had a generic problem, which is low sperm count. But low sperm count can mean many things. There could also be abnormalities in his motility. There could be abnormalities in the morphology, which is the appearance of the sperm. There could also be, sometimes there could be no sperm at all. He could have azoospermia. So it's important to do further assessment to know exactly what the situation is.
Why did he have low sperm count in the first place? What are the causes?
Well, low sperm count is a very interesting concept. The first thing I'd like to tell our listeners is that the fact that you have low sperm count does not mean that you're infertile. Because a lot of men have low sperm count, but then they have 4 or 5 children because the male fertility is expressed through the female. So if you have a younger wife who's fertile, she can compensate for what appears to be a problem. But low sperm count could either be caused by congenital causes, you could be born with it, and you have some men who are born with testicular failure. You also have men that are born with what we call testes that don't descend into the scrotum. So the testes don't acquire the capability to produce sperm. Then there are acquired causes. It could be associated with other medical conditions. Some could be acquired to taking medications. Some medications to cure hypertension can affect your sperm quality. It could be secondary to things like smoking. Men who smoke, a lot of them can have abnormality with their semen. So the list is endless. What is interesting with low sperm count, of course, is that even though we have an endless list of things that can cause it, in the vast majority of men that present in clinic, you actually don't find a cause. And because you don't find a cause, it's very difficult to treat it. So even though you give injections, you give tablets, and the list of drugs that have been tried to treat low sperm count is also endless. But none of them have been scientifically validated to significantly improve the chances of pregnancy. Of course, with low sperm count, the woman can get pregnant because the sperm count improves by itself. That doesn't mean the drug is what got her pregnant.
Now, what is the treatment for it?
Well, the treatment for low sperm count, I think, for most people, if you've been trying to achieve a pregnancy and the sperm count is not too low and the woman is young, I would sometimes in young couples allow them up to 3 years of trying to see if they can achieve a pregnancy by themselves. If they can't achieve a pregnancy by themselves, then you may have to look at other things like doing IVF and ICSI. IVF is in vitro fertilization, where we collect the eggs from the woman and then we take the sperm and we have technology to inject the sperm directly into the egg. That's intracytoplasmic sperm injection. An extension of this is IMSI, where we can use more powerful microscopes to select the best sperms to pick up for fertilization.
Thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
If you'd like to get in touch with the doctor, you can send an email to doctor, which is DOCTOR, @thebridgeclinic.com, or text fertility Lagos to 20050. Thank you, and stay tuned at the same time on the same station next week.
Choose wellness. Choose health and vitality. Know your numbers.
This is a corporate social responsibility message from Pathcare, Nigeria's foremost pathology laboratory.
Life and Living series is produced by Verdant Zeal for Doctors on Air.